and we are live on a Sunday night. This is a first.
This is a first.
I first want to acknowledge something. Unbelievable hat you're wearing right now after the unbelievable victory today. But we're going to hold off on that. We will hold off on that.
Hat of choices for you, KB.
Thank you. All in on high school sports weekend, football, championship weekend recap show. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti.
Good evening. We had to wait. There was Friday action, Saturday action, so we wanted to make sure we got it all in on the recap since there's not that much going on.
A couple comments coming in. Coach and our good friend and guest, Mr. Siciliano. Great Thanksgiving weekend with you two. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thanks so much for coming, sis. It was great to see you.
Kenny Kirkpatrick, good evening all. What a weekend of high school sports. He's also saying, I want to thank both of you for following a Maryland high school near my town in Maryland. The Huntingtown Hurricanes fell short in their final four Group 2A bracket by a score of 14-7 to Milford Mill Academy. Congratulations to the Hurricanes on a successful 10-2 record this year, and thank you both.
Oh, no problem.
No, thank you, Kenny, with the connection.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to maybe doing some more schools next year.
Absolutely.
So, listen, like Kenny said, what a weekend of football. I want to give a shout out to NJ.com too, because the streaming of their games and being able to go back. I got to say this about Beelan now. Beelan texts me yesterday about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. He says, are you watching this West Morris team? They look awesome. I said, yeah. The only problem though, Beelan, is that game was played yesterday. No way, I wasted 2 hours of my time. I said, yep. I said, Caldwell Jefferson's live. So, it's awesome because you can go back on demand. I might even go back, watch, something tomorrow night. We'll go watch another game. We didn't watch every game in depth, but we can go back and do it, and it's great.
No, they did a phenomenal job, and they offered it for free for everybody, which is great to let everybody see the action. So they did a great job.
I just want to start. I want to start with one thing, and it's Friday night, and you can attest to this because you were watching it with me with Sis. I actually thought I was watching like a Bronco football game Friday night with just so my fired up. Eddie's sister saying, "Beelan, get with the program," and we're gonna get to the the Northern Highlands Ramapo sectional final, North 1 Group 4. I was a fan. I was actually a fan. Was I jumping around?
Yeah.
Screaming around, going nuts.
You have roots there, so that's understandable. Yeah.
But I gotta say though, what a game! You know what? I'm gonna say it now. It's game of the year. It is. You had everything from emotions. I mean, the crowd was just over 7,000, I believe, in that place.
They were. I mean, you heard numbers from 5,500 to as many as 8,000. So it's unclear what the final numbers were, I think. But unless you read it somewhere else that it was 7,000. But we had heard that 7,000 tickets had been sold initially, and then the estimates were fluctuating there, but you could see the fans on TV. I mean, I think they were like 4 deep at the fence.
Yeah.
So
Sister saying I almost fell down the stairs. I did.
True
I was
story.
fired up in that game, and but I gotta say, I mean, we'll congratulate Northern Highlands in a second, but from a Ramapo perspective, what that coaching staff did, including Coach Gibbs' son, Brian Gibbs. And again, all the, Nikki Guts and Coach O and Coach Breslin, Esposito, Anzano, all those kids there, how those kids played on Friday night was just it was just incredible. I mean, with those emotions and what those kids just did, a week before, so 6-7 days before, and then they go out and they perform on a stage like this. It's incredible.
Yeah. I found myself getting emotional throughout the game, especially when I felt like there was, shifts in the, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Momentum,
thank you. With the Northern Highlands fumble, when Ramapo recovered the ball. Was that the fourth quarter?
It was the fourth. Yeah. I think it was the fourth.
And then, obviously when they scored with like just over a minute left, Ramapo to take the back and forth in the second half there, and maybe even in the fourth quarter alone, it was unbelievable. But I just felt like those were two, momentum shifts where I really felt like they were going to pull it out, and I found myself getting emotional, and I don't have nearly the ties that you and Sis, who was watching with us as well, do. But again, nothing to be ashamed of. They should hold their heads high. And I know that their coach would be proud of them for the effort that they put forth and what they overcame and played through in those finals.
Absolutely. Kenny saying not only game of the year, one of the best games I have ever seen. Coach Sis saying tremendous. Mark Calderio's checking in. Mark, hope you and your family had a nice Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Kenny saying, I want to shout out the NJ.com announcer for that game. I could only listen and couldn't watch due to being at work, and I got emotional and chills listening to him. All those guys were phenomenal on all those games.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. You talk about high school quarterbacks. Those two kids from Highlands and Ramapo.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you see why they're both heavily recruited, why they will be playing on the next level. And, I mean, they're two of the best in the state.
You had two quarterbacks there who high-pressure situation no matter what, but now you're talking about down to the wire in the fourth quarter.
Play
and they
after
were just
play
cool,
they made.
calm, collected, manage. I mean, they didn't, it just it was very, very impressive how they handled themselves. Very for high school athletes, very impressive.
So anything else in that game that you want to cover?
Another kudos to the Northern Highlands School District for agreeing to move the game, for Irvington as well agreeing to
Middletown
push
South.
it, and Middletown South, because they didn't know who the winner was. That's right. For agreeing to push back the regional finals. I just wanted to acknowledge those schools again for doing that.
By the way, Mark saying, hey, buddy, I want to get on Wednesday night to talk Michigan. Mark, send it to Kenny. Kenny's the agenda guy. You're in. So
Why
again,
talk about Michigan? What? Something happened?
Something must have happened. Something must have happened. But again, congratulations to Northern Highlands. They now go to play Rutgers this weekend against our good friend Dr. John Taylor and Irvington. And again, Ramapo, that's just that game will be talked forever in Ramapo history. And and we are just so everyone knows, we are working on a Coach Gibbs tribute show, hopefully in the next couple weeks.
Yep.
Dr. John, it was the right thing to do, guys. None of us had a moment of hesitation.
No
That's
doubt.
awesome.
It's nice to hear.
That's
sure
awesome.
That is the case. All right, want to go for our rundown?
Let's go. Yep. We'll break the games down a little bit real quick.
We'll start with the North 1, North Group 1 regional finals, which was Cedar Grove versus Park Ridge. Cedar Grove winning by a score of 13-12.
Yeah, listen, that game, I was fired up to watch it. We had Coach on the other night. I mean, we know what Park Ridge is, right? Park Ridge is one of the better teams in the NJIC. But Cedar Grove pulled it out. I got to give props to their defense. They had Matthew Manning on the team from Park Ridge, who's been running over everybody. Still had a nice game, but I want to say they kept him under 100 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns, but they didn't make him go out of control. They made a great, their offense scored early on in the game. Cedar Grove made the plays, and like I said, if you guys haven't watched, you want to watch a fun team on high school play offense, watch Cedar Grove. They are fun to watch, and congratulations. I will say this, that was one of the ones we had right from the beginning, because I think we both picked them in the to win when we did the whole bracket. So congratulations again. Defense played tough. They made plays, but that Cedar Grove defense held an unbelievable running back. So congrats to Cedar Grove.
The North Group 2 regional final pitted Caldwell versus Jefferson. Caldwell won by a score of 42-21, ending their season undefeated. Caldwell 12-0, which I believe might be, I don't want to say it's the first time in school history, but if not, it's in quite some time. So I don't want to misspeak there, but congratulations to Caldwell.
Dr. John been saying all year Gogarty was due for a title. He's my guy. Really happy for him.
Very nice.
Yeah, see, we had Coach on from Jefferson the other night, and I'll tell you, that team, they were behind all game, but that team never. You could just see how going forward, what he has built over there in Jefferson, because Cedar Grove could have ran away from that early. They didn't. They put up 21 points on that.
Jefferson, you mean?
Jefferson. I'm sorry. They put 21 points on that incredible Caldwell defense, but Caldwell jumped on them early, and hey, like you said, an undefeated season. a perfect season for Caldwell. And listen, they're going to be, they should be ranked pretty high in the state, and they're going to be pretty high in what we're going to be doing the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
so
stay tuned for that one.
Kenny's saying, Dr. John's saying Caldwell last won in 2007, so that's a while. Kenny Caldwell, amazing year, and congrats to all in Caldwell.
Very nice. Moving on to the North Group 3 regional final, where we had Cranford against West Morris, both number 1 seeds coming from their respective sections. West Morris, I'm going to call this one not shocking because West Morris won, but shocking, surprising. I don't want to use the word shocking because of the lopsidedness in which they won by a score of 53-14. I had picked Cranford to win that region. I'd actually picked West Essex to beat West Morris. West Morris blanked West Essex. Yeah. Then they held Cranford to 14 points.
Not a bad little run for West Morris. You know, and it was funny because I was reading an article on that game, and just like I said, Coach Kip Finley, a friend of the show, said he went down there and he saw Cranford, and he said they were one of the biggest offensive lines around. The West Morris coaching staff was saying too that they were one of the bigger teams they've ever played, and for this team to jump out, like you said, it wasn't even close. I think they were just saying they were never. I think Cranford wasn't trailing after the first quarter in any game this season, and it was just like, you know, boom, 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 and it was before you know it, you're 3 scores down, and you know you can't come back from that. So congratulations on that. And like I agree with you though, is that was the surprise, not just because who won, but how that score was. Again, Kenny, what surprised me was West Morris size. I knew Cranford size, but did not know West Morris size. Dr. John, Essex County is 2-0 this weekend with Cedar Grove and Caldwell. East Orange and Irvington play next weekend. No pressure. Well, Dr. John, no pressure on you, because just so you know, our pick segment, she caught me with the Bosco Bergen game. So, Dr. John, it may come down to who takes who in your game. So, we'll see. There's no pressure, because that's pressure. Don't worry about no regional championship. It's about our pick segment, Dr. John. If one of us goes with you guys, maybe both.
All right. So our non-public B sectional final had number 1 DePaul against number 2 Red Bank Catholic. It was a defensive battle, I'm going to call it, right? Red Bank Catholic victorious by a score of 13-8. A little bit of a mini upset, I would say. Yeah, little upset. I mean, I think, you know, we did say DePaul was the overwhelming, I don't know about overwhelming, but was a pretty sized, decent favorite in public B, non-public B. Dr. John, I don't want to divide a household or anything. Hey. I don't know who Kurt. Well, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to go. I'll wait till.
We'll wait till Tuesday.
I'll wait till next week.
We'll wait till Tuesday, but it could come down to it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. In the Red Bank Catholic game, they scored on the first drive.
I believe they did.
Yeah, I'd like to see a stat on how many teams scored on the first drive. Because I feel like every game that got played, the team that started with the ball scored on the first drive, just about. So I don't know if there's nerves involved there. That might be a statistic to look into for the future. Maybe you don't want to play defense first, get the nerves out.
we said, we talk about Caldwell, but I think the two defenses all year long. I mean, I'm going to put Irvington in there too, because they had a phenomenal defense. But the other one was DePaul, where, and again, we always said that they played up. And I got to say, Red Bank Catholic, we knew they were a great team. They have a great story. Their quarterback, 6 touchdowns versus Morris Catholic after his mom tragically passed away. But those kids are tough, man, because DePaul's tough. Yeah. I mean, DePaul's a physical team. Yeah. And you know what? This Red Bank Catholic, us two with Sis watched that game, and we were just like, man, this team, they run hard. They hit. And, it was a little upset. Quarterback, what I was impressed, though, with was DePaul. Their backup quarterback coming in. Yeah, a sophomore, and actually, right? I want to say they were down to their third stringer, I think, actually came in at some point. Yep, for one play at least. But, listen, they did what they had to do. The kid was ready, but hey, Red Bank Catholic, and like I said, a little upset. But two physical teams, two great programs. I mean, Coach Campanelli in his first year there had an unbelievable run with some big victories over the bigger boys, and we know that they will be back. So,
and our last final game was the non-public A sectional finals, which was number 1 Bergen Catholic versus the 6th seed Don Bosco Prep. And Bergen Catholic won by a score of 28-7, solidifying their undefeated season as well.
Yeah, Kenny's saying DePaul will be back next year for sure. Great first year for Coach C. Yeah, that game was for the number one. That game in all intentions was for the number 1 ranking in the state of New Jersey. Whoever won that game.
Right.
Hey, Kenny's saying, Kurt, boy, were we wrong on BC, huh? You know what? Listen, Bosco came out. Boom, 7-0 Bosco. They had a lot of momentum, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to say I'm wrong. I mean, I've never said Bergen Catholic's not a great team. I just said for them to go through that gauntlet undefeated,
right.
It takes a very, very special team. And you know what? They proved they're a very, very special team.
Yep.
Their running, their physicality, their deep, and not that Bergen Catholic never had it, but Bergen Catholic was always a little more of like finesse and throwing the ball. But this year, the other coach, Campanelli Vito there, I mean, that team became physical. I mean, they ran the ball down Bosco's throat in this game. They played defense, and 28-7, they did score late. So that game was more of like a 21-7 game. They scored, I don't know, maybe with like a minute or 2 minutes left to really put it away. But, wait, Kurt, you were quoted along saying myself, no one will go undefeated in public. Yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts on that accomplishment?
Well, I think you summed it up perfectly. That is quite a feat. It's
and he wants you to tell me I'm wrong.
Well, he was wrong. I mean, the record speaks for itself. I mean, there was a team that went undefeated, and it was Bergen Catholic. And we had said if there was going to be a team to do it, though, it was going to be them. We've spoken to, we had the Bosco coach on last week talking about, and we talked to the DePaul coach about it as well, like what it's like to prepare week and week out for that type of competition. So it's not just the physicality, it's the mental toughness that you have to have for that as well. And then the pressure of that undefeated season, the national ranking, the best ranking in the state of New Jersey.
Right.
So, you know what? I could see why you would think that no one would go undefeated, because that's a lot, especially for a high school athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They did, and they showed that they deserve to be where they are. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, congratulations to Coach Campanelli. Unbelievable season. And listen, they're gonna reload. So it's not like they're gonna,
right.
It's not like don't feel bad for them next year. They'll be ready to roll. All those teams will be,
of course.
And I know Bosco was on the little of the younger side, and a lot of things we're reading and hearing and stuff like that is like they may be the quote unquote preseason team to watch next year or favorite. But Coach Sabella did an unbelievable job there. And hey, you were right there at half. You were a half away from winning a state championship. But and hey, football's not over yet. Football's not over. We have one more. By the way, my voice is getting a little raspy tonight. I hope
you're not getting what I have.
Yeah, hope not. But this weekend we got a couple. We're gonna really. We'll get into our picks this week. But teams that we've been covering. There's still 2 more this week down in Rutgers. We got Clifton versus East Orange.
And Irvington Northern Highlands.
Irvington Northern
Highlands. Those will be our 2 picks on the pick segment on Tuesday.
Those are our 2 picks. We'll definitely be breaking those games down more on Tuesday night, making our selections. Hint, hint, Dr. John. No pressure for you. But again, and we talked about this with the Rampo game, but it's about everywhere. Like, none of these teams lost this weekend. All these teams are obviously champions. They're right there. They are majority of them were sectional champions, and now they have to play this. And listen, a lot of these games, 13-12 game, a 13-8. Like I said, a 21-7. A lot of games could have just went either way. So, hey, I'm excited to do one more week of football, right?
Yeah.
For games, and most impressive team this past weekend.
Oof, that's hard. I can give you a couple of different teams that were impressive for different reasons. West Morris was impressive because they were so dominant over a very good Cranford team. Bergen Catholic was impressive because of what they accomplished all around, playing that type of schedule and remaining undefeated. Caldwell also for having undefeated season. Ramapo, even though they lost, was impressive for what they endured and came out and did. Northern Highlands was impressive because of their, down the stretch and scoring a touchdown with, getting the ball back with less than a minute left to, win the game. Red Bank Catholic was impressive because of what they were able to do to DePaul, who's been such a defensive dominated team. I mean, you could.
Yeah.
I mean, winners and losers had impressive things, and they're all here for a reason. So, like you said, of course you want to go, you want to win, but congratulations to all of them, and games well played. Those coaches have worked hard, and they should be proud of what they've accomplished.
Real quick, Kenny said I'm going Ramapo by what they had to endure. I agree with Kenny. But again, my other two, again, of course, Bergen was impressive what they did, but definitely the West Morris, the big win, and Red Bank Catholic, just because the physicality and toughness of that team to go toe to toe with DePaul and get DePaul, it's going to be that. Kenny's saying they could have easily lost 35-0, but man, did they play with huge hearts. So we will be back Tuesday night, and just so you know, we will be doing in the next couple of weeks. Again, tribute to Coach Gibbs. We're also going to have our team of the year. We're going to have a coach of the year, possibly a player of the year. So we will do a little show like that.
Yep.
All right. So we will, real quick, Dr. John, hats off to Ramapo and Northern Highlands. I'm not much for
hyperbole.
You say the word. But that may have been the best high school football game I've ever seen. Emotion, perseverance, backstory, amazing game. I agree. I totally agree with him, and I'm glad we got a chance to watch it. Like I said, I was, I felt like I was like a fan, like fired up, and I'm so glad Coach just didn't try to help me not fall down the stairs, laugh at me if I fell down the stairs. But that's it. All right, everybody, we will see you guys on Tuesday.
Yep. Thank you for watching,
and I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving.